Okay, next section, we're multiplying now. And so on number 10, we have a binomial times a binomial. So you had two different ways you could have done this. You could have used FOIL, or we could put it in the box. So I'm going to do this both ways, okay? So if I do FOIL, F stands for first. That means the first term times the first term. So 7x times x is going to give me 7x squared. The O in right here stands for the outer, so I'm going to go 7x times a negative 9, which will give me a negative 63x. The I in FOIL stands for inner, so that means 3 times x, which will give me a positive 3x. And then the L stands for last, so I've got 3 times a negative 9, which will give me a negative 27. And then my two middle terms usually are like terms that I can combine them. So I'm going to end up with 7x squared, and then minus 60x, and then minus 27. Okay, so that's using FOIL if you're okay with just drawing some lines. If you want to do the box, I'm going to just draw me a box. Kind of like the Punnett square that you do in science. And so I'm going to have 7x and then a positive 3 on one side, and then I'll have my x and a minus 9 on the other side. And so all I do is multiply. I'm going to take 7x times this x, and I'll put my answer right here, 7x squared. Then I have x times 3, and I'll put my answer here, which is 3x. Then I have a negative 9 times 7x, and the answer is negative 63x. And then a negative 9 times 3 will give me a negative 27. And then again, usually those will be my like terms. So if I write my answer, I have the 7x squared. And then these I can combine. I've got a negative 63 and a positive 3, which will give me a negative 60, and bring down that x with it. And then my minus 27. Again, very same answer that we got over here, just doing it a little differently, okay? Number 10, I'm sorry, that was 10. Number 11, again, it is a FOIL problem, or the box, but it is a special case because if you'll notice, we have 2x plus 1 and 2x minus 1. The only thing different here is our signs. One is a positive and one is a negative. And so when that happens, do you guys remember the little trick? I only have to do the first and the last. So 2x times 2x will give me 4x squared. And then 1 times negative 1 will give me a negative 1. And there's my answer. Because the two middle terms, this one and this one, the outer and the inner, they cancel each other out. Okay, so let's look at number 12. We have 3x minus 1 squared. So let me rewrite that. That means 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. Again, this is a special case. If you notice it, fabulous. If not, then you go ahead and just work it out either, again, by FOIL or by doing the box. But if you'll notice, it's the very same, including my signs. So there was a shortcut to this. So, of course, this is still always going to be the same. 3x times 3x, that'll give me 9x squared. And then my last is going to be the negative 1 times negative 1, which will give me a positive 1. But what I need to do is figure out the middle. So if you look, remember the middle is going to be this times this. And then this times this. Well, if you'll notice, 3x times negative 1 is a negative 3x, right? And then I have another negative 3x. So the shortcut is to say, okay, well, I've got a negative, and then 3 times 1 is 3, and I just need to do that times 2, so I get a negative 6x. So here would be my answer for that one. And again, if you don't know the shortcut, not a big deal. Just work it out in FOIL. Just do this and just go ahead and do your FOIL or do the box, okay? All right, number 13, we are multiplying a binomial times a trinomial. Again, we could do a lot of lines here. You know, multiply everything in this parentheses by this, and then go back and multiply everything in the second parentheses by this. Or we could just do the box. And in my opinion, the box is a lot easier on here. to make it a little more organized, okay? So I'm just going to do the box. So we have 3 sections basically. So I'm going to put my x and my minus 2 over here. And then the second parentheses I'll put on the top, I've got x squared, and I have a positive 8x, and then a negative 1. So again, we're going to multiply. So I've got x times x squared, which will give me x cubed. X times 8x, which will give me 8x squared. X times a negative 1 is just negative x. Negative 2 times x squared is a negative 2x squared. A negative 2 times 8x would be a negative 16x. And a negative 2 times a negative 1 will be a positive 2. Again, going diagonally, that should be like terms, and what's wrong with it? Oh, look, I made a mistake here, didn't I? Let me fix that. All right, now, let me go back and fix my box too. Here we go, here we go. Okay, look, a negative 2 and x squared is just negative 2x squared. No cube, guys. Sorry about that. All right, and then and then again, this one going diagonally should be like terms. So let's see what we have. We have x cubed, and then I have a negative 2x squared and a positive 8x. So 8 minus 2 basically will give me a positive 6x squared. And then I have x terms here, a negative 16x and a negative 1x will give me a negative 17x. And then this was a positive 2, so we'll put a plus 2. So here's your answer for number 13. And we need to do it again over here for number 14. So let me get rid of this. Give us a little space. Okay, again, I'm sorry. Again, I'm going to do the box, right? Sorry. Oops. Again, it's a 2 by 3, so I'm going to draw a 2 by 3. So we're going to have 3x and a positive 5. And then I'll have x squared and a minus 10x and a positive 2. All right, let's multiply. 3x times x squared is 3x cubed. 3x times negative 10x is negative 30x squared. 3x times 2 is a positive 6x. 5 times x squared is a positive 5x squared. 5 times negative 10 is a negative 50x. And then 5 times 2 is a positive 10. Okay, diagonally, got some like terms there. Diagonally, like terms there. So our final answer, 3x cubed. Negative 30x squared plus 5x, so a negative 25x squared. And then 6 minus 50, so a negative 44x. And then a positive 10. All right, and there's my answer for number 14. All right, number 15 says, given a rectangle with a length of x plus 3 and a width of x plus 5, find the area. Okay, so I'm going to draw us a little rectangle. So it says my length is x plus 3, my width is x plus 5, and they're wanting to find the area. So the area of a rectangle, guys, remember, is length times width, right? So I'm going to say my length is x plus 3, my width is x plus 5, and then all I have to do is do FOIL, or the box. Since we did so many boxes a minute ago, I'm going to do FOIL. So I'm going to say first, which is x times x, which is x squared, and then outer, so x times 5 is 5x, and then inner, so 3 times x is 3x, and then last, 3 times 5 is 15. Combine these like terms right here, so we have x squared. 5x plus 3x will give me 8x. And then, of course, my positive 15. So the area for this rectangle should be x squared plus 8x plus 15. All right, let's keep going. It says, given a square with a side length of 2x plus 1, find the area. So again, guys, we're finding the area. So that's just going to be side times side. Well, the side length is this. So for the area, let me write it over here. I'm just going to have side times side, or side squared. So I'm going to have 2x plus 1 squared. I can rewrite that as 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. Again, I could do FOIL, I could do the box, or this is one of those special cases because it's the very same thing. I could do the shortcut. So 2x times 2x, of course, will give me 4x squared. And the 1 times 1 will give me this plus 1 down here. But to get to the middle term, remember I'm going to say 2x times this. So 2x times 1 is 2x, and then double that. So that's going to be a positive 4x. So that's going to be my area for the square. Okay, find the perimeter, and this is a triangle, so we have 3 sides, 6a plus b, 6a plus b, and 5a plus b. To find perimeter, remember we're just going to add all the sides, right? So I'm going to have 6a plus b plus 6a plus b plus 5a plus b. All right, so we have a terms. I've got 6a plus 6a plus 5a. So 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 5 is going to give me 17a. So already I can cross off these two answer choices. And then I've got some numbers. I've got a positive 6 and a, oh sorry, excuse me, can't read my handwriting. This is a plus b and a plus b and a plus b. So there's 1, 2, 3 b's. So it'll be plus 3b. So A is going to be the correct answer. Okay, another perimeter one, so that means again we're adding all of our sides. So I'm just going to rewrite that. We have 2x squared plus 3x, and then I have plus 7x, and then I have 2x squared plus 1, and then I have another plus 7x. All right, so let's see what we have. X squared, largest exponent, another x squared. So I've got 2x squared plus 2x squared, which will give me 4x squared. Again, I can cancel out some answer choices. Keep going. I've got an x, so I've got 3x and plus 7x, and again plus another 7x. So that looks like that's going to be 17x. And then the last thing I have is this 1, so plus 1. So it looks like B is going to be the correct answer. And then on the next video, we'll look at what that what our little riddle is, okay?